Alright guys, to start off, I apologize for my voice sounding a little bit different. I'm recording it in a different room, so if you hear dogs barking or someone watching a documentary about hunting turkeys, long story, I apologize. So the Oscars for 2019 are coming up, and I want to give some feedback. I made sure to watch all 9 films nominated for Best Picture, which is probably more than many reviewers and Oscar voters. Let's be honest. I'm going to go through the main categories very quickly and leave the Best Picture discussion for the end. So if you only want to hear about the big award, skip to this point in the video. Now, let's chat about who was nominated, who will win, who should win, and if anyone was snubbed. And don't worry, no spoilers. I enjoyed Jojo Rabbit, but Scarlett Johansson's nomination here is baffling. The film didn't give the actress much to do, and the scene where she acts like a man is embarrassing. Laura Dern is excellent as a sleazy divorce lawyer. However, it's likely that Margot Robbie will win. If anything, the phrase, "an Oscar-winning actress, Margot Robbie," will add some oomph to the 2 minutes of concentrated cringe that is the Harlequin trailer. Ooh boy, was Willem Dafoe snubbed this year. I didn't adore The Lighthouse as much as many critics, but Dafoe's fiery, shanty-shouting performance is a major highlight. What I do like about this list is that it contains both Pesci and Pacino, who neatly represent the spectrum for good acting. Passionate on one side, reserved on the other. Odds are that Brad Pitt will be the victor. He brings so much life to Cool Guy number 6.2. Hopkins so expertly appeared senile, I start to worry about the actor's mental health. Personally, I'm rooting for either him or Pesci. The latter does so much with so little. I'm hoping, rather than believing, he'll get the gold. In my latest 6 horror films that are actually scary video, I mentioned that if Midsummer's beautiful yet terrifying symphony was not nominated for Best Score, then the Academy should just hang a sign saying, "We hate horror music." Well, someone get them some thumbtacks, cause of course they snubbed it. Thomas Newman's evocative strings soar in 1917, but this will probably go to Joker's haunting music, and I have no complaints with that. Good to see some love for The Lighthouse, the shot composition of which is claustrophobic and creepy to the point of demonic. This isn't a close race though. 1917 has this in the bag. A war film, shot to look like one long take, orchestrated by Roger Deakins, just for the sequence lit entirely by flares alone, 1917 should grab it. The Irishman is 3.5 hours, and I was consistently attached to the characters and the story at large. Apart from the sharp dialogue and a climax that is as taut and heartbreaking as a violin string, the fact that it barely drags marks this as a damn good adapted screenplay, and I don't see any other film beating it. The inclusion of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for this category is absolute nonsense. It's a 3-hour love letter to a time period more idolized than the golden statue it doesn't deserve to be nominated for. Honestly, there isn't much depth here, and the runtime is not earned. Marriage Story's dialogue is raw and genuine, yet brims with energy and emotion. Knives Out is a much-needed whimsical whodunit, and Parasite is just genius all around. It's a 3-way fight, but I would give Marriage Story the edge for its dialogue. Little strange not seeing Lupita Nyong'o's dual role here, which is easily the brightest rose in a rather weedy garden that is Us. The Academy loves biopics almost as much as stroking their egos, so Zellweger could win for her role as Judy Garland. However, Johansson's performance in Marriage Story is at an expert level, and she should, and probably will, win. I gotta be honest, I'm kind of rooting for Adam Driver. If Phoenix wins, I certainly won't groan. The actor threw every piece of himself into the role. But Driver had the disadvantage of playing a normal person in a depressingly normal situation and delivered a heart-wrenching performance. Phoenix will get it though, and good for him. And it's also interesting that 2 Jokers will win an Oscar. Kinda cool. The controversy this year, for There Is Always One, is that there are no female nominees for this category. I hate this line of thinking with every fiber of my being. Once we base awards on ethnicity and gender, once we start maintaining certain percentages in our nominees akin to a bouncer behind a velvet rope or, well, any college, then the award itself loses much of its value. If you think Greta Gerwig was snubbed because she did a great job, then let's have that conversation. You want to talk directing snubs? See me at the Lighthouse and Waves. I would say the winner is a toss-up between Martin Scorsese and Bong Joon-ho, but if I were a betting man, I would go with the latter. Now that we're all together as viewers, here are the nominees for Best Picture. If you haven't seen 1917, I'll sum it up thusly. If you liked Dunkirk, you'll dig this. If not, you won't. Unlike Dunkirk, this is not an assault on the senses. 1917 is surprisingly quiet, patient, and tense, but at the right moments, explodes with satisfying sequences. The production design brings the mottled, muddy trenches to life, and the climax is so intense I wanted it to go on longer. 8 out of 10. Ford v Ferrari did something I love when I watch movies. It listened to my wishes, if that makes any sense. Okay, the first half is good, but not great. Bale and Damon work well together, but the villain is straight out of a cartoon. Please, please, please do what Warrior did and make the second half entirely focus on a single competition. And boy howdy was I thrilled when I realized that's exactly what the film was doing. The racing is exhilarating. Damon and especially Bale keep us involved in the stakes, and the finale rings surprisingly somber for this kind of film. Not perfect, but so well done when the film actually presses the gas pedal. 7 out of 10. I could go on for 2 hours about why The Irishman both earns the nomination and the hefty runtime. The best way I can sell it is that I was so engrossed not only while watching but afterwards that I watched it again a week later. That's 7 total hours of old Italian men chatting about everything from politics to grape juice, and I could easily watch it again. Every decision serves the mood and the overarching theme. 8 out of 10. Jojo Rabbit is a fun comedy with unfortunate shortcomings and a decidedly misleading trailer. The Nazi children's camp that features so much in the marketing takes up about 10 minutes in the film, and it's the best part. The rest switches between comedic conversations with the protagonist, Hitler, and various officers, and a middling plot taking place in a home that seems to take forever. Good concept, good acting, terrible pacing, 6 out of 10. I already did a review on Joker. Overall, Phoenix's acting and the music are the main draws. The plot doesn't make much sense in key spots, and I'm comfortable calling this the most over-nominated film of the year. Still, on a visceral level, Joker functions very well. I felt edgy and disturbed long after it was over. And as someone who makes yearly horror rankings, that's saying something. 7 out of 10. Little Woman's best attribute is the cast. Saoirse Ronan and Timothée Chalamet are the perfect Joe and Laurie, and Meryl Streep pulls a Devil Wears Prada and steals every scene she's in. However, the decision to tell the story out of sequence was a deal breaker for me. For a romantic drama that lives and breathes on slow building tension and character growth, this scattered, oftentimes random structure eradicates almost every chance for emotion. There is one segment that I won't spoil where this works, but otherwise, we as viewers are being tossed from scene to scene, year to year, without time to breathe. Many scenes are frustratingly rushed, and as a result, the proposal scene is downright bad. I never thought I'd see an ADD romantic drama, but here we are. 5 out of 10. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a film I don't even want to talk about. Anyone who adores Tarantino especially will likely dismiss my criticisms with any number of epithets and "you don't get it," none of which change the fact that this film is overlong, well shot, and ultimately pointless. I appreciated the what-if aspect of the ending, but by then, it was too late. The film had already wasted my time with seemingly endless scenes of DiCaprio's attempt at a cowboy accent, and conversation after conversation after conversation that went nowhere. Just because a film is patient doesn't mean it's mature. It looked pretty though. 5 out of 10. What's amazing about Marriage Story is that it isn't a chore to sit through. A 2-hour Netflix divorce movie? Skip it. Imagine my surprise when I was sucked in from start to finish. Nothing here is wasted. No stone goes unturned. It's rare for a drama not to sacrifice realism for the sake of catharsis, but with the right script, it can work wonders. It's somewhere between an 8 and a 9 for me. And the winner will likely be, and should be, Parasite. Parasite is one of the strangest, most unpredictable movies I've seen in a long time. and yet nothing about it comes across as haphazard. The characters are simultaneously unlikable and enthralling. The tone is scattered, yet the shifts to each one never feels out of place. It's a social commentary, drama, comedy, heist, thriller. Really, that's like the best way I can describe it. The cinematography is often beautiful, and best of all, purposeful. Some images, like someone smoking a cigarette on top of a spewing toilet, which is cooler than it sounds, trust me, latched onto my memory. Parasite is one of those movies you can tell when watching will become iconic. So that wraps things up. I really want to see everyone's opinion on this, so please comment. I'll probably do an Oscars reaction video after the ceremony if you guys are interested. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!